Welcome to the Artistry Collective. This is Leah with Make All the Things With Me. Welcome back, my crafty friends. And if you're new, welcome. Glad to have you. Pop on in and say hello. I'm going to be crocheting for Feeling Frosty because it's cold here in New York. How is it by you? So let me just make sure everything is working and you all can see me, I hope. Right. Yes, there I am. I'm live. It took a minute. Always forget about the delay. I'm going to be crocheting the snowman pin. So come on in, let's get started. Welcome so much. Welcome so much. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm a little off. It's Wednesday, but it feels like it's been 3 weeks instead of 3 days since Monday. Yeah, it's been a week. Okay. So I'm going to wait for a couple people to pop on. I don't want to get totally started. So I'm really off my game tonight. Let me adjust this above camera here. I can't use my above camera. My multi-streaming device is not working very well. So I've been trying, but it hasn't been working. So come on in. Hey, Cody. Yes, I am live. Yes, I am live on YouTube. And if you have an account, you can say hello. Hey, Alyssa. How are you? Good to see you. I'm going to be crocheting tonight. I'm crocheting this snowman pin. It's an oldie, but a goodie. It's a favorite of mine. I'm going to show you, this is the original one I had. It holds my scissors, it holds my needle, and it holds my favorite crochet hook, size H. Thank you. So this was a gift to me. Oh my gosh. My daughter was in elementary school, and one of the aides was wearing one, and I absolutely loved it. So she made one for me, and then I wanted to make one, so she wrote down the pattern, and I have the original pattern written somewhere. I think it's right here. This is what she wrote it to me on. And then I took it and I printed it up, but this is what she wrote the pattern on. You tried crocheting, but you couldn't get the hang of it. Well, I'm going to try. Hey, Rhonda, how are you? Thanks for being here. So, yeah, this is the original pattern that she wrote. I wrote it up like this. In the community section, I put a post up today with this pattern. So if you are interested in this pattern, go on over to the community tab and download it and print it, and then you can follow along too. It looks pretty frosty, right? Yeah, it is frosty. Frost is coming. I am so tired of the frost. Wait, I need this pattern. I need to read it, right? Because I don't have this pattern memorized. Yeah, so all you need is white yarn, black yarn, a safety pin for the pin on the back, and these little tiny mini pom-poms. My hands aren't working that great. There we go. These right here, these tiny for the eyes. And you'll need the needle. This is a plastic one that I use for my yarn. I didn't realize I've got my penguin shirt on. I should crochet a penguin one of these days. All right, so Shauna from Frapps Scraps was on before me. Hey, Laurel! I miss you, my friend. Oh, my goodness. And there's Shauna from Frapps Scraps. Oh, I didn't cry today, Laurel. Almost, but for a different reason. It's been a rough week. I'm chairside assisting this week, and I haven't chairside assisted in a while. So just gotta say, I prefer oral surgery assisting way better than general dentistry assisting. More stressful, less hectic. That's all I'm gonna say. Shauna, that book you made was absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. I feel the hugs. Right there, Laurel. That's my work buddy. We got separated. We used to work together. We worked together for, gosh, like almost 10 years. And then she left and she went to this other company. And so I stayed at my old job. And then finally I had enough at my old job. And there was a position available at her office. We were finally back together again. And now we're separated. So I miss her terribly. And while we were separated, we used to meet once a week for dinner. And now it's a hectic time of year. But we are hoping and praying that we are back together really soon. You're working on a bluey hat. Oh my gosh, and a bunny. And a unicorn. Yeah, they all need, you're working on all three of them at the same time? Oh my goodness. But hats work up fast, right? I made a unicorn hat once, never a bluey hat. My favorite is the owl hat. I make a lot of those. All right, so let's get started. Just got to make sure I have everything. Okay, so I'm going to start with the white. We'll start with the face. So I this is where I keep my crochet hooks and my little doodads, crossing fingers, for my crochet stuff. And I've got more. They're in projects that need to be completed, right? What are they called? WIPs, works in progress. All right, so let's put this to the side. Let me put this in here so I don't lose it. All right. So on the pattern, it says chain 4, slip stitch to the first chain to form a circle. Now, I follow Repeat Crafter Me. She is a crocheter. She has hundreds and hundreds of patterns. As a matter of fact, my favorite owl hat pattern is from Repeat Crafter Me. I know she's on Facebook. Don't know if she's on YouTube. And let me just take a minute to talk about the Artistry Collective. It is the group that I go live with every Wednesday. Shauna from Frapps Scraps is on before me at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. She is in Washington. Then me at 8 o'clock. I am Leah from Make All the Things With Me. And then after me is Christy at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from Christy's Crafty Cottage. She is the one that put us together. We go live every Wednesday night on most Wednesday nights on YouTube. And this week, Shauna was watching me and I was talking about crocheting, and they so graciously picked the theme so that I can make the snowman so I can crochet this week. From Repeat Crafter Me, she makes a magic circle. It's so much easier than crocheting a circle. Hey Jane, how are you? Thanks for being here, friend. Dee Dee, hello. Thanks for being here. And thanks for knowing how to spell my name. So what you do is you just go around, just a little loop around 2 fingers, and then you take your crochet hook and bring one of the loops through like this. Instead of making chains and making a circle and then crocheting into that, this makes it so much easier because you can pull it tight and then you won't have that little tiny space when you make a circle. And then you're gonna, I like to keep it big. All right, so this is what we have. Now, I've talked about how I hold my crochet hook. It's different than the way most people, probably most of the world, holds their crochet hook. I learned from my great-grandmother when I was 9 years old. Back in Italy. My family is from Italy. We used to visit when I was little, and my great-grandmother taught me how to crochet. This is how she taught me how to crochet. I think it's an ancient form. It's maybe one of the first forms of transitioning from knitting to crocheting, because you kind of hold the crochet hook like you do a knitting needle. I don't knit very much. I can only do scarves. Like, what is that? Knit, purl. I don't even know the terms in knitting. But when you yarn over, you go like this. Okay, so that's kind of like knitting is. And when I was 9 years old, it was a really, really long time ago. A really long time ago. My mother crochets like this. My grandmother crochets like this. My aunt crochets like this. A lot of our family crochets like this. Probably a lot of the older generation crochets like this in that little section of Italy where we come from. Maybe most of them. Your grandma taught me when you were 8, right? I've been doing this since I was 9, and I fell in love with it. I mean, she taught me how to make granny squares, and I made granny squares like you can't believe. And we would just spend days just sitting together and crocheting. And you know what I should have done that I didn't even think? I should have brought out, my grandmother crocheted a bedspread, a tablecloth, and these squares that matched our bedspread, but the bedspread has angels and hearts. I mean, the work, it took my grandmother forever. There were 3 girls on that side of the family, and she made one for me, my sister, and my cousin. I remember my grandmother crocheting all the time, and with crochet thread, mind you, not with yarn. So I hold it like this. There's other ways that people hold it. They kind of weave it through their fingers to hold it. I kind of got in this habit of holding the yarn. Now I lost my magic circle. We'll start over. Of holding my yarn like this. I think my mother holds it differently. She weaves it through her fingers and then holds it with her pinky. I just hold it like this. And this is how I get ready to crochet. So it'll say, you know, let's make the circle. So then round 1 is you chain 3, which counts as the first double crochet. I know, you know, when my daughter was little, she did not want to learn. But I think she will. She'll get the patience, and hopefully I can teach her. Hopefully. I don't know if it's harder to learn when you're older. So you hold the work, I hold the work in this hand, and you hold the hook in this hand. So a double crochet is you yarn over, you bring it into the circle, yarn over again, bring it through, yarn over, bring it through the first 2. And I know I'm talking so fast, like it may seem like it's going fast, and I wish I had the above angle. And then you yarn over and you attach both. Now I used to crochet very tight, but I already made a mistake because it wanted me to chain 3. So let's chain 3. 1, 2, 3. It counts as the first stitch. But from a tip from watching Repeat Crafter Me, she doesn't like to include that first 3 chains as a double crochet. It makes the work smoother, and it kind of it'll hide that joining point. So what you want is 12 double crochets. So you just do 12 double crochets into the magic circle. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know I'm holding it weird differently if you've seen other people crochet. I don't even know. I can't even like think how they hold it and how they work. The way most people crochet. So what was I up to? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 more. And I learned to just not make it tight and just go loosely. So what I was talking about was, so this is the length of my double crochet. I don't know if you could see it. So you just use that as a guide when you make the next double crochet. So you want to make it even like that, and then yarn over, pull it through, and then they're all the same length. So you just use the chain you did before as a guide for the next chain. And I know it's so hard to see this way. I should have done it from the top, like Shauna does her lives. Shauna, if you're still here, I want to know, how big is your desk? Because your work area is so like overcrowded, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wonder how big her desk is. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I have 8. 9, 10, 11, and the last one is 12. And they're all the same size, I think, I hope. And then it says with the slip stitch to the top of the chain 3, but I'm gonna slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. Your desk is good size, but easily clutter up. And I know. I'm like trying to get in the habit of, after I make a project, to just keep, my desk is way bigger, but I keep this much. I try to keep it clear. And so I'm just going to chain slip stitch, which means you yarn over, pull it through the top of the first double crochet and the last double crochet, and now you have made a circle. So this is what it looks like. See, it has that little hole right there in the middle. There's Christy. That's okay. No lates. No lates. All right, so now that I made that circle, what I'm going to do is, here's the tail from the magic circle, and you just pull it tight. And now, let me just show you what I have here. You pull it tight, and now you have a closed, perfectly closed circle. All right, sometimes, depending how you crochet, if you make that first little tiny circle out of chain stitches, sometimes that little circle never really closes. And so what I did was, so that I wouldn't lose my stitches and my work, I just pulled this loop out. So I wouldn't lose it. It doesn't help you, you bounce between projects. I know. I was supposed to go live on Monday, and I didn't have it in me. It was a rough day. Okay, so that was round 1. Round 2, chain 3 into the same stitch you joined to the first double crochet in the same stitch. I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to count that as a stitch. So I'm just going to chain 3, and I'm going to double crochet back into that same stitch, and then it says work 2 double crochets in each double crochet from round 1 and then join. You should have 24 double crochets. I'm reading the pattern, so hopefully you can understand. Those of you that crochet and read patterns, you'll know. But if you print the pattern that I left in my community section, it'll print out. It'll look just like this. And then you can just rewatch and we can crochet along together. All right, so 2 double crochets in each double crochet. So a double crochet is the stitch. So now I'm going to do 2 in each one, and I'm going to want to end up with 24. So I already did the first one, and this is the second one. And you just work your way around the circle. And there is a front side and a back side to crocheting. And once you get to know it, you could tell. I don't know how good it will look by me bringing it close to the screen, but let me show you really quick. So this is the front side, and then this is the back side. Do you notice how the stitch is different? The front side is so much more prettier. Gosh, I haven't crocheted in a while. I did, my daughter went to a baby shower, and I made a little teddy bear hat. Too quick for me. You need to leave the stitches. Wait, you need to learn the stitches. These are the most basic, quickest stitches. I think I might, maybe I'll make a video or showing it up close. I know it's hard. It's hard from this view. But there are a lot of crocheters on here. So is anybody crocheting with me? So what a double crochet is, you yarn over the hook, you go into the top of the double crochet on the bottom from the first round. There's a little V shape and you can tell where it goes. Yarn over, pull it through, and you want to make it the same height as the one before it. Yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through, yarn over and pull through the last 2. You're working on a bunny. Oh, awesome. We're crocheting together. And I'm doing 2 double crochets in each single crochet from the round before. And this increases the size. And the reason you do this also is it makes it lay flat. If you were to just do the one and then when you go to join it, it'll kind of curl like a bowl. So by increasing, by doing the 2 in one stitch, it kind of opens it up, widens it, so it'll have more flexibility and it'll lay flat. And this yarn, I don't know where I got it. I'm gonna say probably Joann Fabrics. It's Easy Knit Tricot. Nope, it's Easy Knit Overjoyed yarn. I don't know where I got it. All right, where was I? Okay, and so I'm just doing 2 double crochets into each stitch from the round before. And I'm making sure to pull my hook up to the same size as the stitch before it. And that's kind of how you avoid wonky stitches. You've been crocheting all your life. Once you learn, it's simple, right? Yeah, now, I'm sure you don't, do you hold your crochet hook like this? Anybody? Did anybody learn this? I have tried to learn the other way, but I just can't do it. And I know there's like people hold it like a knife, or they hold it like, no, like a pencil or like a knife, and I can't even think of the way that they do it, but I know I've tried. I've tried to learn, and I can't. It doesn't feel right. And I just had the crochet hook resting right here between my forefinger and my thumb. And I really, I love crocheting, but I can't do it as much. I have to limit it because my hands, I have the beginnings of carpal tunnel syndrome, and my hands start to cramp up. So I have to take it easy. I have spent the last half hour talking, but these work up really fast. You're a pencil holder, so you knew exactly what I was talking about. You know what you know, and you get used to doing something a certain way. So now I have reached the end. So I'm going to join it, but I'm not going to join it to the first 3 stitches. I'm going to join it to the first double crochet, and that makes for a smoother join, so you don't have that awkward, for those of you that crochet, when you have the, the chain 3 as your first stitch, and you see the line going up and it's just a little bit off. This way you don't see it. Let me see if I could show it. See how smooth it joined? See, you can't tell. The first 3 stitches from the row are hidden in the back. That was such a great tip that I learned from Repeat Crafter Me. I know she has a Facebook group. I don't know if she has anything on YouTube. Okay, so now we move on to row 3, which is you turn your work, which means you're going to be working from the back side. And I'm going to slip stitch into each stitch from round 2, and then we're going to end off. So 1 slip stitch, and the slip stitch is, let me just chain that one. There we go. I can turn it easier. All right. And a slip stitch is probably the easiest stitch to do because there's no yarning over. So you're just gonna go into the chain, the stitch from the last round, go right in. There's a little V, and I know it's really hard to see, but you just yarn over and pull through, and that's it. No extra yarning over. Yarn over, pull it through to the stitch in your hand or on your hook. No, you don't hold my hook like that. You actually never even think about it when you get a hook and you just start crocheting. You got lost at Magic Circle? That's the easy part. All right, so I'm just slip stitching. Into, and I'm starting to get, I feel myself getting a little tight. I'm just going to loosen it up so I don't pull my circle really tight, and so it'll lay flat. So I'm just loosely, I started off a little tight. And honestly, when you work looser, it's so much better on your hands too. You're not gripping everything so tightly. Kind of forces you to relax. I kind of need this tonight. Just one more day. One more day. We're a little short-staffed at work too, which adds to the stress. Plus, that time of year, everyone's a little high-strung. How much are private lessons? Oh my goodness. Well, it all depends how long it takes me to get you into the habit of crocheting like me. It'd be so much easier. All right, and now I'm going to chain them together. I gotta find where my hook will fit. That first chain I made a little tight. All right, and now I did an extra chain to close it up. I pull it through. I need new scissors. Okay, my circle is complete. Can I get this done in time? I was thinking I was going to be done. All right, so now I'm just going to thread my crochet. This is plastic. It's a plastic needle with a nice big hook that I don't need my magnifying glass and my readers to see. And now I'm just going to weave it into the ends. I don't like to cut. Well, you shouldn't really cut at the end because it could always unravel on you. You want to weave your ends in so that they're hidden, tucked away, and so that it won't come apart. You risk too much if you cut it at the knot. All right. And just like that, it disappeared. It's all gone. I'm going to leave this out because that's not going to get in my way. And now we're going to work on the hat. This yarn is from Dollar Tree. Easiest way to yarn if you don't want to make balls is find the part in the middle that you can pull out. This way you're constantly just pulling it from the middle. It's not unraveling from the outside. Sometimes when you pull in, you can pull out like yarn vomit, all right? It's like a big clump, but that's okay. Don't stick it back in, leave it out, just work with it. Eventually you'll get to this where it just pulls out nice and neat. And you have a nice, neat skein of yarn to work with. All right, let's put this guy to the side, and now we work on the hat. Now, it took me a while because I wasn't that good at reading patterns, how to figure the hat out. We're going to chain 13. It's important to work loosely because you got to go back into these chains to make other stitches. And I'm probably the worst 2, 3 crochet explainer ever. 1, 2, 3. That's probably why my daughter didn't want to learn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And can I just add that my husband used to hate it when I crocheted because you're always counting, right? You don't want to lose count. And it's hard to see on black. Row 1, single crochet into second chain from hook and into every chain. You should have 12 chains. So you should have 12 single crochets. So I chained 13. We're not going to chain in the one right next to the hook. We're going to skip it and go to the next one. And that mimics that chain 3 that you do at the beginning of every row. That's so your work doesn't fold over, fold onto itself, especially when you're trying to make a straight line. I'm really a bad explainer. But this is a really easy one. And if you crochet, this is such an easy pattern to follow, and it's fun. And I'm not even counting. And maybe I should, but I'm pretty sure I got 13 stitches. And then I got really smart when I was making bigger projects. I used to have to count the rows, and then some rows doesn't look like rows. So I got myself a stitch and or a row counter, which was a life changer. And I actually have it attached to a different project that I started on last year that I never got to finish. Too many things to do. All right, and I'm just single crocheting, which is you put the hook through the stitch, yarn over, bring it up, and then you're going to have two loops on your hook, and then you're going to yarn over and pull the yarn through the hoops. So black is really hard to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. We're at the end of the first row. You're going to chain 1. So that brings you up so that the chain 1 is the same size as a single crochet. So now I'm starting at a nice even plane as the other chains on top of this chain. Otherwise, you're pulling the work. I think I've never really tried to explain crochet before. And then you're going to work. Okay, I did that. And okay, so now we're going to do 12 single crochets across. So I did my chain 1. I'm going to, and you turn the work. So now I'm working from the back side, and with single crochets, it's really hard to tell the front from the back. All right, and just, I should have made the hat a different color. I become to where I don't like crocheting with black yarn because it's so hard to see. And I don't know where my readers are. And I can't hold my magnifying glass and crochet at the same time. Okay, 2 rows of single crochets. All right, for the next one, chain 1, turn the work, slip stitch into the first 2 stitches, and then single crochet 8 stitches across. So slip stitch into the first 2, and I just lost it there. And I'm going to tell you in 1 second what this does. 1, 2. Okay. And then single crochet into 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so let me show you why I did that. The hat is going to get smaller. See from this edge, see for his brim. If I didn't do those slip stitches on the beginning of the row here, I would have had to finish it and then just start crocheting in a little bit to make the hat part. This way, those slip stitches, it's a space marker. So you don't have to, you know, crochet a new piece of yarn to make the rest of the body. All right. Okay, so I did my first 8 stitches, leave the last two stitches alone. All right, so chain 4 is, row 4 is chain 1 and work 8 single crochets. We have 8 here, so now we're going to work on his hat. It was single crochets, right? Did I do my chain 1? My chain 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Chain 1. We're going to do that again. We want to make 3 rows like this. So that was 4. So now let's go 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Chain 1, turn the last row. Did I do my chain 1? Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. The last row 7, 8 slip stitches across and end off. So I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and I'm going to do a slip stitch onto the top of the hat. And you can make the hat as tall as you wanted it, as tall as you want it. You can make it, you know, really tall. You can make it shorter. You can make it, you know, a beanie. Just adapt this pattern. Really simple, easy stitches. And this is a great beginner's pattern too. You're always creating your vomit. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I had this thing here and I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, is that going to be enough? All right, I'm going to end it off. I always chain one to end it off. And then let me see how much time. Oh, all right. I'm just gonna, all right. So let's attach the hat to the body. All right. I should show you the hat, right? There it is. There it is. You see it? I have a little hat. Okay. I'm just gonna trim it a little bit, and I'm gonna weave in the ends later because I got 15 minutes and I really want to finish this. So you can, what I usually do to make sure it sticks is you sew it. You want to sew it to the circle, so to the face. I'm going to glue it for now. And then I'm going to go back, and I'm using Beacon Fabri-Tac glue. You can use Aleene's felt glue, Aleene's Techie glue, any kind of glue. So I'm just going to glue it. I'm going to go back later and I'm going to sew it on there. Okay. Just let it drip. You find you count everything. Yes, yes, all the time. My husband used to get so annoyed with me when I was crocheting, and I'd be like, wait a minute, you know, and then I'd finish counting off the row. Okay. All right. So that's what I did so far. Now on this one, this is sewn, but let's make the nose. The nose is so easy. Okay, here we go. Chain 3, slip stitch to first chain, end off, and leave enough yarn to pull through the center of the head and tie together. All right, so 1, 2, 3, slip stitch to the first chain, all right, a chain to tie it off, and there is his nose, just like that. And then obviously you would take your time doing this, pulling it through. I'm just using my hook to grab the yarn from the front side to the back. Do the same thing on the other side. Tie it in the back. I'm just going to cut this off and I'll reinforce it with some glue later. All right, so that's what we have so far, okay? All right. I left my glue on its side and now it's just spilling out. All right, so let's put his eyes on. I'm just putting 2 glue drops . And I think instead of sewing his mouth, I'm going to use those pom-poms to make his mouth. Get the tweezers here. just adjust his eyes so he doesn't look funny. Alrighty. All right, I'm putting glue down for his mouth and just using my reversible tweezers. There he is. There he is. Almost done. 9 minutes. Okay. Grab a safety pin. See that? Any size safety pin. Open it up. And I'm just going to double the yarn like this. And then I'm going to wrap it around the side of the pin. Not the pin side, but the top side. A lot of times I'll thread it through the little ring at the edge. And you can sew the safety pin on, you can glue the safety pin on. Whatever you have time for, whatever you are comfortable with, and you just wrap the yarn around that safety pin. I did one time, I'm doing 2 layers. Maybe I'll do 3, make it a little bit thicker. Just wrapping it around that. And then let's go back to the other end. Hopefully I didn't make it so tight that I won't be able to close it. Here we go. And I'm trying really hard not to poke myself. Laurel, if you're still watching, I think I made you one of these one year, right? I made some for a whole bunch of people one year. My friend Linda still has her, and I made it a long, long time ago. All right, so I'm going to test it. Can I close it? I can close it. And I'm going to glue it to the back of the snowman. I am running out of glue. Oh my gosh, who would have thought that the hardest part was getting the glue out of the container? Come on, here you go. All right. And then you just put the pin on the back of, can you see it? I don't want to get glue on me, but I'll just do this. And then you can decorate his hat any way you like. But then here he is, and he'll go just like that. So on my other one, I did a little sprig of greenery, so we can do that with this one too. Glue this guy on. I'm just going to cut the one side off to make it flat. I'm going to fight with my glue again. right on his hat. And then I have these two little pearl balls from another project. Like little snowballs. I was going to do red berries, but I found these. I'm like, let me use these. These are really cute. And honestly, these things work up so fast. Here's little red berries. Let's put one in there. Look. How cute is this pin? I mean, I would definitely wear this. I do wear it. I love it. And here's one I made. I used little jingle bells on this one and a little sprig on here. This one has glitter on it, and I'm losing the ball. There we go. So honestly, this thing would work up in half an hour. I was chit-chatting, you know, doing all that kind of social stuff. So mine lasted the whole hour, but it works up so fast. You don't have one? I could have sworn I made you one. Laurel, it was like 10 years ago, maybe more. I did make one on a Facebook Live last year. I did, with a crochet friend. But there it is. Laurel, I'm going to fix this one up, make sure it's nice and permanent. I'll sew it, reinforce it, and this one is yours, Laurel. There it is. How cute. And I think I like it better with the little pom-pom mouth instead of sewing it. See, I sewed this one. I'm not so crazy about that. You would have saved it. But yeah, and there it is, all done. Thank you so much, you guys. But yeah, I'm going to reinforce this one so that it doesn't fall apart. I'm going to sew the hat, and I might make a couple extra stitches to sew the safety pin onto the snowman. And this one is not going to fall apart. And it's going to my friend Laurel. This guy came out so cute. Awesome, quick snowman projects. Snowmen are my favorite. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. So do all the YouTubey things. Subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Share me out. Christy is up next after me at Christy's Crafty Cottage. She goes on in 2 minutes. So we'll go catch her live. I'll meet you guys over there. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. As always, if you find yourself here for whatever reason, know, friends, that you are not alone. You are so not alone. And you matter. We all matter, right? So thank you for spending your time with me. I will see you next week. Who knows what our theme will be. But have a great night, everyone.